How to Breathe by Ashley Neese. Read by Book Dragon. Part 6. In my practice with clients, one of the biggest issues I see is people giving too much and not receiving enough. The open heart practice is an offering that you give yourself when you want to call in more love, joy, compassion, intuitive knowing, and self-care. It works wonders to soothe sad or painful emotions while also supporting connection and receptivity. The open heart breath is a powerful practice to commit to when you're going through challenges in relationships, and a beautiful practice to teach children, as this breathwork will continue to support their innate, curious, and intuitive nature. This practice also helps you cultivate self-worth. Open heart. Lying down, 10 minutes. The practice. First, gather any supports like a blanket or pillow that will make your practice feel cozy. Lie down in a position that makes you feel very comfortable. Set your practice intention. Place your hands over your heart in a way that brings the most ease in your body and gently close your eyes. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your nose 1 to 2 counts longer than your inhale. Repeat for a few cycles until you begin to settle. When you feel settled, bring an awareness to your heart. Ask this question to yourself or aloud. Dear heart, is there something you have been trying to tell me? Continue to breathe and wait for a response. If after a while nothing comes, ask again and wait. When your heart has finished, say to it, silently or aloud, thank you, I am here for you, I love you. Repeat this 2 more times. Release your hands to your sides and let the awareness of your breath go. Rest for a few minutes. Close your practice and journal. Notes. Go slowly with this practice. If your heart doesn't have anything to say to you after you ask it twice, do not be discouraged. Sometimes it can take a while for it to open up. Stay committed to connecting with your heart, and over time, it will soften. It is important to listen to your heart without judgment. Often our heart speaks quietly because our minds are full of judgments and fears about what they are saying. An essential aspect to an open heart is giving your heart the space to communicate freely. This can be a very emotional practice. So if feelings surface, allow them to rise and fall like your breath. If you're going through a big life challenge that is connected to loss or major transitions, big emotions might surface. Give yourself space and time to move through those feelings. Trust your process and talk to your heart. It has so much love and wisdom to share with you. Pain relief. A simple breathwork practice can have incredible effects on physical pain. One of our natural reflexes is to hold our breath when in or anticipating pain. This impulse ends up causing more discomfort in the body as it creates stagnation and contraction. When the air is able to flow more freely in the body, pain reduces significantly. You may have heard the phrase, breathe into the discomfort. The reason this works is because it's a very effective way to manage physical pain, is to breathe through the experience. For the pain relief breath, I instruct to focus the breath into the edges of the discomfort or pain rather than right into the center of it. Working with the edges is a safer and more sustainable way to bringing relief. Over time and with practice, the pain center will decrease and more ease will be felt in the area of discomfort. The pain relief breath is also an invitation to notice when we are holding our breath and to begin breathing again into the discomfort in a slow and mindful way. Staying present with uncomfortable and painful sensations as they come up is another way to access relief. This sounds scary, but it really works. In cases of severe physical trauma and pain, many people will disassociate, a function of the body designed to keep us alive. The pain relief breath helps us stay present through intensely uncomfortable experiences and is a way that we can mindfully explore physical pain. Pain relief. Sitting up or lying down, anywhere you need to practice, as much time as is needed. The practice. Situate yourself in the most comfortable position. Set your practice intention. Take long, slow breaths in and out through the nose. Place a gentle awareness on your area of discomfort or pain. Breathe slowly around the edges. Pay attention to whether you hold your breath and return to breathing. Practice as long as needed. Notice any differences. Close your practice and journal. Notes. The pain relief breath is a portable practice that is designed for whenever and wherever you need it. I use this practice a great deal while in the dentist's chair, one of my least favorite places to be. I experience a lot of sensitivity and find this practice helps me stay present, calm, and in significantly less discomfort. It is important when practicing to let go of expectations and attachments to the outcome. This creates unnecessary tension in the mind and body and isn't in service to your practice. I understand that it is easier said than done, and that physical pain, especially if it's chronic, can have a host of psychological and emotional aspects to it as well. What is most beneficial when practicing the pain relief breath is to do so with an open mind. As you practice breathing into the pain, trust your body. If your inclination is to take small breaths, do that. Don't force your breath or override it with your mind to try and get relief faster. Even a small amount of breath flow into the area can change the tension pattern in the body. And over time, this release will grow. This practice is also very useful in childbirth, in injury recovery, and for back pain. Parent and baby. When babies are born, they are unable to regulate themselves. Over time, they learn to self-regulate and develop the skills to self-soothe internally and externally through the infant-caregiver relationship. Babies and children in their early years are dependent on their parents to manage their impulses, emotions, and needs because they do not have the capacity to do it for themselves. One of the most important jobs of parenting during a child's early years is the responsibility of learning how to self regulate so that you are modeling that for your little one. As I've discussed throughout this book, the breath is an excellent tool for self regulation, and it's a wonderful way to connect with your baby. I've had the privilege of working with many new parents in my practice, and I love it when they bring their little ones to sessions. In each session, I am in awe of the magic that transpires when the parent settles onto the table and begins their breath work. At some point, their little one is ready to join, and sessions typically end with the two of them breathing together in very peaceful, regulated states. The parent and baby breath is a practice that you can do at any time. It works very well when babies are tired or upset. What has been reported back to me by my clients is that this simple practice is about so much more than the breath. It usually is. Over time, it expands into bonding moments that deepen connections and affirm that no matter what happens in a day, there is always an anchor to bring them back to the moment and to each other. Parent and baby. Sitting up or lying down, holding your baby. 5 minutes. The practice. Find a comfortable position. Set a quick intention. Begin breathing slowly and gently, in and out through the nose. Allow the breath to move in and out of your body in whatever way feels the most nourishing and supportive in the moment. As you breathe, notice what is happening for your baby and remember that you are regulating your baby. Continue for a few minutes until you are ready to stop. Thank your baby for practicing with you. Close your practice. Journal if you have the energy or time. Notes. I purposefully added a note into the journaling because, let's face it, as a parent of an infant, you have plenty to do. The main thing is to simply notice what's happening and practice every day. My clients have found this breathwork practice is a great way to lead into a nap or bedtime, as well as breastfeeding. It works just as well for the parents as it does for the children. Parent and child relaxation. Showing our children what healthy relaxation looks like and making it a fun activity can be a great way to connect and give them a lifelong tool for self-care. Each child is different and has a unique set of needs that support them to feel confident, successful, and in control of themselves. The parent and child relaxation breath is an encouraging practice to help reinforce their personal development and give them space to continue learning to self-regulate. I often hear from parents that they are looking for meaningful ways to connect with their children, and breathwork is one option. Because it requires a level of presence to practice, the parent and child relaxation breath can become an activity that everyone looks forward to because it's a time when everyone is fully there. Years ago, when I was on a meditation retreat with Thich Nhat Hanh, he said that the greatest gift we can give our children is our true presence. I heard this over a decade ago and never forgot it. It's something I share with all the parents in my practice, and it always resonates with them in a profound way. A big part of what we're all looking for in that search for meaningful connection with our children and loved ones is the capacity and desire to be fully alive and present in as many moments as possible. Parent and child relaxation. Sitting up next to your child 3 to 5 minutes. The practice. Sit comfortably, set an intention together, ask your child to start paying attention to their breathing and see what they notice. Have them place one hand on their belly and you do the same. Invite them to breathe through their nose with a closed mouth until they feel their chest expand. Ask them to hold their breath for 1 second at the top of the inhale. Next, invite them to blow the air through their mouth as slowly as possible. Repeat this practice with them until they feel relaxed. Check in with your child afterward and give them space to talk about what they experienced. Close the practice together and journal if you have the time. Notes. I suggest starting this practice with your child or children around 3 years old. The inquiry in the beginning of the practice starts getting children to connect to their bodies and their breath, and to feel how they are related. It's great to practice sitting up and can also be very effective before a nap or at bedtime to help your child settle. This breath practice is a wonderful activity for the entire family. It can be a fun ritual to end the week, used before the stress of a big test or homework assignment, or used anytime anyone in the family needs a reboot. Children like things to be colorful, imaginative, and fun. Have them participate in picking out special blankets or toys to bring to the area where you will be practicing. It can also be nice to have soft instrumental music playing in the background. I know several parents whose children love to create a fort-like area for their breathing practice. The key is to get them involved and engaged in the entire process. The parent and child relaxation breath is especially useful if your child has trouble self-regulating, is very sensitive, or has a tendency to feel overwhelmed. It can be very difficult for a child to be calm if they don't have an experience of what that feels like. It is important that they practice this several times a week to build the resources into their nervous system. This also increases their ability to integrate the work and have it as a tool they can draw on for the rest of their lives. Resilience. The ability to bounce back to life, returning stronger than before, is a vital component to our health and well-being. Rather than being overcome by perceived failures, missed opportunities, or issues beyond our control, people who are resilient are able to find a way to carry on and thrive. Resilience is a buzzword in psychology today, and given the enormous amount of stress and pressure people are under, it makes sense. Resilience is just as important today as it was in our cave-dwelling days. And it's important to cultivate this quality in our ever-changing and fast-paced landscape. Some of the key factors that attribute to resilience are being able to self-regulate, the ability to be flexible while still having healthy boundaries, having a positive outlook, supportive communication skills, and the ability to see failure as an opportunity to grow. Individually, all of these qualities have a great deal of merit on their own. When combined, they make up a person who is able to adapt to their surroundings, accept change, keep things in perspective, and take good care of themselves. Resilience is made up of actions, behaviors, and beliefs that can be developed by anyone. Cultivating resilience is an individual journey, as we're not all going to respond to the situations in the same way. Being resilient doesn't mean that you will never feel discomfort or experience distress or heartbreaking life events. In fact, often the road to resilience is paved with adversity, trauma, and a great deal of emotional dysregulation. The resilience breath, in many ways, could be any breathwork practice that draws you into your center, anchors you in the present, helps you feel alive, and reminds you that you've got this. I have yet to meet anyone who, after a few months of a dedicated breathwork practice, didn't develop greater self worth, the capacity to be more gentle with themselves, the ability to better regulate the ups and downs of their emotional landscape, and ultimately, the awareness to become more embodied. For many of us, myself included, the journey towards resilience is a long, twisty, and riddled with deep sorrow and unexplainable joy. As you come to develop and eventually strengthen your connection to your breath, your inner wisdom, and your life force energy, you will find it easier to maintain flexibility in your life, hang out in the elusive gray areas, relish opportunities for self discovery, keep things in perspective, be able to heal what needs to be healed, and expand into the person you were meant to be all along. Resilience. Standing up 5 minutes. The practice. Stand up tall with your feet hip distance apart. Put a slight bend in your knees and let your arms rest at your sides. Set your practice intention. Breathe in and out through your nose for a few cycles to settle in. Take a deep inhale through your nose as you reach your arms out by your sides, palms facing forward, and eventually coming into a prayer position over your head. As you exhale, draw your palms down to your midline to rest in front of your heart for a beat. Release your arms down by your sides and repeat the cycle for 3 minutes. Let your arms rest by your sides and relax for 1 minute. Close your practice. Journal. Notes. With each inhale, lengthen your spine towards the sky and imagine yourself growing taller. As you draw your hands to your heart, continue to keep your spine tall and press the soles of your feet into the earth. Track the sensations in your body as you practice. Notice how full your breath becomes and if that changes anything in your body. Be sure to take notes on what you observed during your practice around those changes. This is a great practice to do when you want to uplift yourself, cultivate a stronger life force presence, and remind yourself that you've got this. I recommend starting off trying it for a week in the morning before breakfast. Sadness. Like happiness, sadness comes and goes. We often put so much pressure on ourselves to be happy that it can feel like there just isn't time in the day to address sadness that needs to be felt. As with physical pain, anger, or any other unpleasant feeling that we have to face, the breath is a key component for helping us face and hold space for ourselves in the middle of the discomfort. Our culture is very quick to breeze by sadness and cover it up with another distraction. Next time you feel sad, instead of stuffing it down or trying to take the edge off, simply notice how you're breathing. This simple act of paying attention to your body in the middle of unhappiness can begin to shift your awareness and give you an opportunity to lean into that feeling with support and strength. As you learn to be with your sadness, you will find it easier to inquire about that emotion and get clear on what it is trying to tell you. Once you are clear on what that is, you have a much better chance of addressing it head on. Now, I'm not suggesting this as a way to breeze through difficult emotions of sadness. I am, however, giving you an opportunity to get to the bottom of what is there so that you can continue to learn about yourself, grow, and eventually express what needs to come out so that it doesn't create emotional and energetic buildup in the body. Being able to be present with sadness is the doorway to greater resilience and the ability to self-heal whatever is troubling you. Sadness. Sitting up 12 minutes. The practice. Find a comfortable seat. Set your practice intention. Breathe slowly through your nose for a moment to settle in. Next, take a couple of moments to scan your body from head to toe, making note of any areas of comfort or discomfort. Continue breathing deeply and slowly through your nose for 8 minutes, allowing your body to breathe in whatever way that it wants to. Notice the emotions as they come and go, anchoring yourself in the breath when you remember. When finished, rest for a minute. Close your practice and journal. Notes. Often my clients start crying early on in the breathwork session when they come in sad or are having a tough time. There is something very powerful about stepping into a sacred, judgment-free space where they know they will be supported and attended to. Sometimes crying is necessary and helpful during these sessions as a way to cleanse and reset the system. If you find yourself crying during this practice, do not worry. Allow the emotions to rise and fall without hanging on to any of them. Let your body process how it needs to. If you find that you are crying so deeply and you get caught up in stored memories, please use your breath to bring yourself back into the present time and consider reaching out to a practitioner for support. If your sadness is persistent and chronic, I suggest working with a guide, whether that be a body-focused therapist or a mind-body practitioner to support you as you explore and uncover your feelings of sorrow. Self-healing. Often we are operating at such a fast pace in life that we don't take the time to feel what needs to be felt in our bodies. The faster we move, the less opportunity our nervous system has to downshift, and the more likely it is that feelings will begin to build up. The lack of parasympathetic nervous system engagement, aka rest and digest mode, coupled with an accumulation of unprocessed emotions, makes it challenging for our bodies to heal in ways that are safe and regenerative. The places in the body that are emotionally and energetically backlogged are likely to become areas of chronic pain and tension if they are not addressed on a consistent basis. It is widely known that eating nourishing foods, staying hydrated, and getting in some kind of movement each day is essential for our wellness. What is slowly gaining traction as well is the concept of taking care of our emotional well-being. This means having some kind of practice that connects us to how we are navigating our emotions so that we acknowledge, feel, process, and express them if needed. The self-healing breath is a practice that invites you to notice where your breath is moving freely in your body, where it feels stuck, where it might be energetic or emotional buildup, and where that buildup might manifest as a chronic holding pattern or area of pain. With your awareness and attention, the self healing breath can be a powerful tool to help deepen your body, consciousness, release emotional blockages, and relieve pain to create more spaciousness and vitality in the body and breath. Self healing. Lying down 12 minutes. The practice. Find a comfortable position. Set your practice intention. Breathe slowly through your nose for a minute to settle in. Next, take a couple of minutes to scan your body from head to toe, making note of any areas of comfort or discomfort. Choose one area of discomfort to support. If accessible, bring one hand to that area and continue to breathe through the nose. Allow yourself to notice any discomfort on the inhale as you soften your body on the exhale for several rounds. Next, begin to lengthen your exhale by 1 to 2 counts. Repeat this for 6 minutes on the same place on your body. Notice any changes. If you feel called to move to a different area of your body for the next 5 minutes, do so. Otherwise, stay in the same place. When finished, release your hand and rest for 1 to 2 moments. Sit up slowly, close your practice, and journal. Notes. If any emotions or sensations arise during this breathwork, allow them to be fully expressed as you move through the practice. If you get overwhelmed at any point, take a break. Open your eyes, look around the room, and when you're ready, come back to the practice. Once you are familiar with the self-healing breath, here are some helpful inquiries to add to the body scan in the beginning. Notice where the breath is moving freely in the body. Where does it feel stuck, blocked, dull, lifeless? When you come across an area of discomfort, explore the quality of the holding pattern. The self-healing breath is a powerful teacher in that it reminds us that no one can do our work for us. That ultimately, our bodies know how to heal themselves when given the attention, support, and nourishment they need. This practice is also very powerful because it teaches us to spend time with ourselves, to get to know where we are blocked and what our holding patterns are. And it gives us a tool to become more self-reliant in regards to our health and well-being. Our current healthcare model is one that is often disempowering, and taking time to be with ourselves and our breath each day is a radical act of self-empowerment. In the words of one of my oldest teachers, we are our best healers. Sleep. Like breath, sleep is one of life's necessities. But sleep is all too hard to come by for many people in this busy and full modern world. Quality sleep is linked to improved memory and brain function, emotional well-being, physical performance, stress reduction, quality of life, and personal safety. While you can find loads of articles online that share conflicting information on the number of hours of sleep humans need each night, and the different suggestions for getting enough shut-eye, everyone agrees that it's the quality of sleep that takes precedence over the amount of hours in bed. I've struggled off and on with insomnia in my adult life and have tried everything, including herbs, meditation, pharmaceuticals, blackout curtains, sex, earplugs, no electronics after 9 p.m., and some lesser known practices like Reiki, delta wave music. After years of trying everything under the sun, I set out to develop a breath practice that would help me settle into sleep quickly and sleep until morning. The sleep breath is a practice that slows down your heart rate while increasing oxygen in the bloodstream. It taps into your parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for your body's rest and digest mode, and works wonders to quiet the mind so that you can fall asleep with ease. There are only a few practices where I suggest a breath hold, and this is one of them. The pause at the bottom of the exhale is important in the sleep breath, as it helps your parasympathetic nervous system slow down. Because our bodies are designed to breathe automatically, we will find a natural inhale at the end of our hold, so we don't even need to worry about the inhale. We can trust that it will come. The more you practice the sleep breath, the quicker it will bring you into a state of rest. The sleep breath is a staple practice for when you can't fall asleep or if you find yourself often waking up in the middle of the night. The state of our health is dependent on how well we sleep. This breath supports you to rest deeply so that you wake up refreshed and ready to begin the day. Sleep. Lying down in bed for 10 minutes or until you fall asleep. The practice. Get in bed and make yourself comfortable. Set your intentions. Begin breathing in and out through your nose slowly for a few rounds. At the bottom of your exhale, pause for 3 to 4 counts. Inhale, repeating the practice until you fall asleep. Journal about your sleep in the morning. Notes. Practice the sleep breath in bed, preferably with the lights off. Make your bedroom as cozy as possible so that you have a comfortable sleeping container. Setting an intention to sleep is very important. You want to let your body and mind know that you are committed to sleeping. If holding your breath at the bottom of the exhale is new for you, go slow and don't force it. If you experience chronic stress or anxiety, chances are you don't breathe enough during the day and your breath might be shallow. The hold at the bottom of the exhale is an invitation to take the breath deeper and slow it down. This might be uncomfortable for you in the beginning, and that is okay. Hold for just a count or two and work your way up. With practice, you will be able to hold at the bottom of your exhale for longer, and the sleep breath will come with greater ease. Unwind. As you are learning, changing your breath pattern is a very effective and quick way to change your state. In the case of stress, which we all experience, learning how to unwind is an underrated and essential tool for changing our state to one of health and restoration. We are under more stress than ever before in history. Just to boggle your mind for a moment, 90% of the world's data was created in the last 2 years. With the increasing amount of information available to us via email and smartphones, it's no wonder so many people struggle to stay grounded and relaxed. In the section entitled Breath, the Foundational Tool, I talked about how few people actually know how to relieve their stress and often mix up relaxing with checking out, numbing, or stuffing down what's happening. The unwind breath is an antidote to stress and a healthy way to relax, to starge energy, and bring our bodies into a state of alignment. The unwind breath is a nod to the ancient yogic practice of alternate nostril breathing. One of the first pranayama techniques I learned in my early 20s. In this practice, you alternate taking full breaths with each nostril with the help of your hands. The unwind breath is a powerful practice that de-escalates stress, provides quick calm, and lowers blood pressure. It also helps to balance energy centers in the body, which is key for relieving pressure in the mind and body. It's easy to get overwhelmed and feel overloaded these days, and it's vital that we have a handy practice in our pocket to support our nervous systems, to uncoil themselves in times of stress. I remember hearing from a teacher years ago that stress isn't bad or negative. It is our relationship to stress that matters. The unwind breath is a call to take charge of our health by giving our minds and bodies a safe space to release and reorganize. Unwind. Setting up 5 minutes. The practice. Sit in a comfortable position with a tall spine and relaxed hips. Set your practice intention. Release any tension from your jaw. Rest your left hand on your left knee, palm facing upward. Gently place your right ring finger on the left nostril and your right thumb on your right nostril. Fold your second and middle fingers down to the palm of your hand and relax your little finger. Take a deep breath through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Close your right nostril with your thumb and slowly inhale through your left nostril. Close your left nostril with your ring finger and hold your breath for a beat. Release your right nostril and exhale slowly. Pause. Repeat on the alternate side to complete one cycle of the unwind breath. Practice for 5 to 10 rounds, alternating the breath between nostrils. Release the practice and return your hands to your lap. Breathe and rest for a moment, noticing any changes. Close your practice and journal. Notes. Remember to always inhale through the opposite nostril you just exhaled through. 5 rounds are a standard place to begin. You can go up to 10 as you get more familiar with the practice. Consistency with the breath is helpful with the unwind breath. Try to match the length of your inhales, pauses, and exhales for a smoother practice. An easy way to begin is to inhale for 3 counts, hold for 3, exhale for 3, and hold again for 3. As you get comfortable and familiar with the practices, you can increase your count and pay closer attention to the subtleties of the effects. Do not force your breath in this practice or any of the practices in this book. It's important to keep the breath moving in and out through the nose. Keep your fingers light on the face when practicing. Pressure is not necessary. The unwind breath can be tricky at first, so be patient with yourself. It gets easier with practice and time. The unwind breath is also ideal to practice before meditation. And that is the end to the How to Breathe by Ashley Neese.